This is Worldwide Wrestling Times, a YouTube wrestling channel that talks about the past, present, and hopefully future of professional wrestling. So, a lot of people are talking about, and rightfully so, the MJF promo from last Wednesday night's Dynamite. Coming off a squash loss at Double or Nothing against Wardlow, where he took 10 power bombs and he did a stretcher job to make sure he put Wardlow over. He had a lot of things to say, going after the fans in a heelish way, but then what he said about Tony Khan, for a lot of people, was over the top. Some in a good way, some in a bad way. I thought it was entertaining. And where we go from here is going to be interesting. Safe to say, I feel MJF is the most talked about wrestler in all of professional wrestling. But the question is, where does it go? Where does this booking go? As of right now, people in Warner Discovery have issued an edict to AEW to take MJF off the roster page, off their merchandise page, and off all their programming as far as the advertisements go, the posters and stuff. To me, I think this is definitely at this point a work. It's a worked shoot. I think that MJF really does feel this way, and I think there really was tension and drama, but I think based on the fact that MJF was allowed to cut the promo he did, they seem to have worked it out and are turning it into a storyline. Now, as I said, where that storyline goes is going to be interesting, but in my opinion, MJF is the next AEW World Champion. I think he has to be. This promo, they say it didn't go as planned, that it was supposed to be more heelish, and they weren't expecting the crowd to cheer him. I think that you have to be sort of insane to think they wouldn't cheer him. That promo was very much 96 Austin-esque. Very similar storyline, too, if you think about it. Austin does a squash job for Hacksaw in 1994. I believe it was Halloween Havoc for the U.S. title. Very quick squash job. Goes to ECW for about a year. Does a lot of hard interviews criticizing Dusty and Hulk and Eric Bischoff. And then he eventually comes to WWE, WWF at the time, as the ringmaster. And eventually develops into Stone Cold Steve Austin with that same sort of almost 1995 promo style that he had in ECW, but this time, renovated, repackaged for Austin 316. So when we look at MJF in this promo he did, he has to be the next AEW World Champion. I think so. I don't see any other thing you can do with him. Although, I think I've said this before, if Tony Khan ever takes a bump in a ring from somebody, it has to be from MJF. And it has to be at the right time. I think it would be an epic moment if that were to happen. But that's all for this one. Thanks.